Hey everyone, welcome to another one of my videos. Today we've got my Red Infect deck. It's mono red and it's direct damage red. This is, when I saw this card, Soul's Fire, I was just like, the creature itself does the damage and I can deal the damage equal to its power to target creature or player at instant speed, and that's a common. I was like, I gotta build a deck around this. Because you all know, in order for infect creatures to give people poison counters, they have to do damage to them. So the idea behind this deck was really the Ogre Menial. He's pretty much got a fire breathing built in. So I can make him just as big as I want and then do direct damage to a player equal to his power. And the way I do that is by having a bunch of mana. And this is where the mana flares come into play. Yeah, it is going to help my opponents. It's also going to double their mana. But infect damage takes way quicker to kill somebody than regular damage. I also have the mana vault in there just so I can get the Ogre Menial out faster. And also, as backups, we've got more creatures with Infect. The Razor Swine. It's a 2/1 first strike for 3 mana. And I can make him just like the Ogre Menial by placing the Dragon Mantle on him. That also gives him Fire Breathing, which is pay a red mana and this creature gets +1/+0 to end a turn. And an added bonus is I get to draw a card when I play this for 1 mana. So it's like double bonus. And if that's not enough, I've got the Warstorm Surge in there. So whenever my creatures come into play, I can do some direct damage with them with the Warstorm Surge. I got a couple other infect creatures in there. The Fallen Feromancer, he does direct infect damage all by himself. Like, all you gotta do is pay 2 and tap him, and he can do 1 damage to target creature or player. So if you gotta get that little bit of last 1 infect damage in, he's the guy. And I got the big old Phyrexian Juggernaut, excuse me. He's a 5/5 for 6, which is no problem with the mana flare and the mana vaults. But he has to attack each turn. Pretty gross. Also, in case they've got some pretty big blockers, and I can only get a little bit of damage over on them, the best way to do that is with Trample. So no creature is too scary. An alternate way of giving people more poison counter is to proliferate, and nobody does it better than the Contagion Engine. Added bonus, it puts a -1/- counter on all the chosen opponent's creatures. Then you can pay 4 and tap them to proliferate, then proliferate again. And just in case we've forgotten, proliferate means to choose any number of permanents or players with counters on them, then give each another counter of that kind already there. And then in this instance, you get to do it again. So, like the Soul's Fire, this costs a little more, but it's a handy little equipment where you can unattach it from the creature and just fling their power to target player. So if you got a 5/5 and you got a Sure Strike Trident and a Soulsfire in hand, you got lethal, because that's 10 damage without even going to attack. I got a couple 1-ofs in here that are really fun. I got the Blade of Selves, which is an equipment that it gives the creature Myriad. And whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than the defending player, which is the one I'm attacking, I may put a token that's a copy of that creature onto the battlefield, tap and attacking that player, or a planeswalker he or she controls. Then I exile the tokens at the end of combat. So for each person, for one individual that I'm attacking, I get to do the same thing to every opponent on the board. So that's a pretty handy card. And because I have a 0 casting cost, not casting cost, but a 0 power creature, I can go ahead and attack and then pump up my guy, even if I have no cards in hand, and nobody else's creatures will hurt me with Ensnaring Bridge. Because each creature with power greater than the number of cards in my hand cannot attack. So if I empty my hand and I go to combat, I got an Orgrimmino, he can attack, and then I can later pump him up. That's the beauty of this deck. That's kind of why my infect creatures have small powers on them. It's like an alternate win condition. So there's the direct damage aspect with it, which is the Soulsfire and the Sure Strike Trident. Then there's flat ol' attacking with my infect creatures. And then giving them trample if need be. And then there's handicapping my opponents by not letting them attack. I think this deck is pretty lethal. And it scares a lot of my friends. They're like, what? Direct poison damage? That's crazy. But I love poison, of course. So I'm always going to find a way to completely and utterly abuse it. But as usual, I don't mind any suggestions on the deck. If you got any cool ideas to add, let me know. And that's it for today. And I'll talk to you guys later.